Brain Flush needs to get dialysis twice a week. We played a lot of Skullman's level. A lot of Skullman's level. Because there are 2 energy tanks in this level naturally. And there's also an Eddie, who at this point in time his name wasn't Eddie, it was Flip Top. They retconned his name. So, if you played the level properly, you could walk out of it with 3 energy tanks. And Mega Man 4, unlike the previous 2 games, you can revisit levels. So we spent a lot of time going back to Skullman's level and farming up energy tanks. Like, a lot of time. Woo! I don't need energy tanks nearly as much as I used to, but I guess I'll get them both. Eddie! Thank you for the 1 dot of health that I needed. So we actually can move over this way. The path diverges here. Woo! Get the Ballon out. Whoops. Alright, now. I said I was going to show you guys something funny in Skullman's stage. And I told you all to leave comments reminding me, and I thank you for all the comments that you left. And here it is. Mega Man can't slide through a ladder. So, you get a weird graphical effect that makes it look like he's farting a lot. And that is the pinnacle of comedy when you're a kid in 1991 and you play too much Nintendo. Aren't you glad you all left me those comments? You saw me pick Skullman off the menu. And you're like, oh, time to leave Brick a comment. Thank you, because now everybody got to see Mega Man's farting sprite. So you can see both of the E-Tanks are a little bit out of the way. But that's okay, because we got the Ballon, and the Ballon makes it nice and easy. And the monsters do respawn like pros in this game, though. Oh, I should have showed off the time travel glitch in Crash Man's level in Mega Man 2. Well, I guess I can't now. You see how it was daytime in the previous screen, but now it's like dusk? And we can't go back to the previous screen. I mean, it didn't literally change the time. They just changed the color of the sky, right? And it's kind of a cool effect to give the illusion of passage of time in a Mega Man game. But they do the same trick in Mega Man 2 and Crash Man's level when you're climbing that really long ladder, except you can drop down to the previous screen and make it daytime again. As long as you do not move, as long as you just sit here and don't press any buttons, Skullman just stares you down. Just stares you down, man. Which is good, because I have to pee. So I'm going to take a break for 1 minute while you guys stare down Skullman and try to get into his head, you know? Try to really get into what he's thinking about. Alright, did I miss anything? I see that I didn't. It's a good thing my bathroom is right next door to the game room here. I'm not going to edit that out either. I'm going to leave it in. So Skullman uses the Skull Barrier. Mega Man 2 had the Leaf Shield, which was a shield weapon. And in Mega Man 4, they're like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. Let's revise the shield weapon and revisit it. And so they revised it. Every Mega Man game thereafter had a shield weapon. There's the Skull Barrier in 4. There's the Plant Barrier in 5. There's the, which one is it in 6? No, Plant Barrier's in 6. Star Barrier's in 5. 7 has the Junk Shield. 8 has, which one was in 8? Oh, I'm trying to think now. Mega Man 8. Who had the shield weapon in 8? I can't remember now. 9 had the Jewel Shield, which was broken. That weapon was really good. And then 10 had the Bubble Shield, which was dumb. Oh, it's gonna bug. Okay, let's walk through the monsters in Mega Man 8. Let's do this scientifically. There was Clown Man. He gave you the thunder attack, like the thunder chain whip thing. And then there was Spikes. There was just, I'm just gonna die on those spikes there, is fine. Grenade Man had the grenade launcher thing. Was it Frost Man gave you a shield? No, Frost Man had the thing that made the ice go along the ground. And there was Tengu Man. He had like a tornado thing? Those are the first 4 bosses. Then you get Sword Man, who gave you a melee attack. Search Man gave you missiles. Astro Man had a full screen effect. It must have been Aquaman. No, Aquaman gave you the little water. There was no shield in Mega Man 8. Aquaman gave you the little water bubble thing, and then you had the soccer ball that was just idiotic. There was no shield weapon in Mega Man 8. They broke convention. Thank you, Eddie. So yet another reason Mega Man 8 is bad, and don't play it. I mistimed that slide and got hit. So the other item that we want to get, we got the balloon in Pharaoh Man's level. The other one we want to get is here in Dive Man's level. Worst robot master in the game, by the way. I hate fighting this guy. I don't have any idea how to dodge his attacks. And his weakness is the Skull Barrier, which is like, I just can't even. What we want to do, though, is jump here. And don't ask me how we found this, but you fall down this hole and it's a secret passage that leads down this long tunnel filled with spikes, and then you get the wire. And then what happens, Brickroad? Well, then they send you back. In Pharaoh Man's level, I guess the only place they can send you in the levels are to either the beginning or to one of the checkpoints. And one checkpoint is about halfway through the stage, and the other checkpoint's always in between the boss doors. And in Pharaoh Man's level, because you get the balloons so early, it sends you to the checkpoint, which actually lets you skip a couple screens of the level. But in Dive Man's level, because you get the wire so late, it turns out the checkpoint is actually behind you, so you have to replay a couple screens. So you can go down and collect the wire as much as you want. There's no reason to do that, but you can. Every time I get to that part of the level, I slide off and try to fall, and every time, as soon as I hit the slide button, I remember you can't do that. And so, there's no shield in Mega Man 8. What were they thinking? What did Tengu Man have? He had that, like, wind tornado kind of attack. Because Tengu Man was also in Mega Man and Base, but in that, it was like a slash attack. It was the Tengu Blade. But I'm pretty sure in Mega Man 8, it was like a wind attack. It wasn't a shield. Why did I take that hit, or that hit? Gotta jump there. Gotta jump there. I might just burn up an E-Tank on this boss. His weakness is the Skull Barrier, but his weapon makes the Skull Barrier vanish, and you've got to hit him at point-blank range, so I end up doing a lot of crash damage in this fight. So, yeah, we're just gonna eat up the E-Tank and be happy about it. I don't know a better way to fight him. Oh, I didn't need the E-Tank after all. I got lucky at the end. But it's okay. There's plenty of E-Tanks in this game. We're not going to run out, guys. We're not going to run out. It's all good. So now, with the 8 Robot Masters toppled, we can go deal with Dr. Cossack himself. And we got the dive missile. Oh, we're not done. We still got Drill Man. I forgot about Drill Man. I remember one situation when I was a kid, designing Mega Man levels, as I do. Mega Man 4 had been out for, had been a couple months at that point. Well, not that long. It must have still been brand new. It must have only been a couple weeks then. But I was at home, it was really late at night, so it must have been on a weekend, and I was designing my version of Mega Man 5, which of course had the Doc Robot refights, because that's such a great idea. But because I was making Mega Man 5, I needed to have Doc Robot fights from Mega Man 4. So I got to the part when I was designing, and I had to remember who the 8 robots were from Mega Man 4, and I could only remember 7 of them, and the one that I forgot was Drill Man. So it's spikes! I'm just gonna jump on him, it's fine. So it's really late at night, and I'm like, okay. I got my free guy back, at least. I say really late. I was a kid, so really late for a kid. It probably wasn't later than 10:30 or 11 or so, but I'm like, okay. It's the weekend. Should I call my friend and find out who the Robot Master I'm forgetting is? Like, is it okay to call at like 10:30 at night? My mom wasn't home. My mom was at one of her boyfriend's gigs. And I was either home alone or my brother was home with me, so I didn't have an adult to defer to, and I remember agonizing over this decision. In the end, I didn't call. I just made up a Robot Master, and I just, in my head, we'll just say he's from Mega Man 4, even if he's not. And I forget which one I made up, but it was probably better than Drill Man. Drill Man's kind of dumb. Anyway, I didn't call in the middle of the night. It wasn't the middle of the night. It was like 10:30, and it probably would have been fine. Like, it was one of those weird situations, like her mom's probably already asleep. Anyway, the wire lets you headbang, which is really, really cool if you're playing this game when it's brand new and you had just watched Wayne's World. It also does this thing where you can like connect to a ceiling, but whatever, it's the headbang weapon. That's the thing we all really care about. Ouch! I thought I had him. This is another one of those levels that took some practice. This section of the stage coming up with the with those rocks that do a lot of damage, those like dirt clods, and then these switches you have to hit. I'm gonna use another E-Tank here, I think. I am, indeed. Oh, you know what? I don't need an E-Tank. Oh god, I should have used Skull Barrier. Yup. Except Skull Barrier goes away on contact with, like, anything. It's the worst. Now, Drill Man is RNG the boss. It's not that he's difficult, it's that he spends a lot of time underground. So this fight's always really frustrating, because Mega Man 4 does not have the best boss music in the series, and if my man is just underground, and if the dive missile decides it doesn't want to hit him today, it wants to circle around, like right there, the dive missile like wanted to hit everything but him. Woo! Woo! He was coming in hot. Also, I don't know what's up with the graphical effect on the ground there. How Mega Man kind of slides behind that first layer of ground. It's weird, right? I'm not sure what causes that or why. Now that all of the Robot Masters have been dealt with, it's time to go after Dr. Cossack. And we get Rush Jet. Ah! There he is, the Rusky Mastermind. In his terrible Siberian castle. And his level is a circus ball instead of a skull. Great music, though. Great visual effect on the background to suggest trees back there. Ice physics in Mega Man 4 are a little derpy compared to ice. They're not like slippery. It's just it's hard to gain traction. So you do like a lot of jumping in this level. Because the snow slows you down, and then the ice it's hard to gain traction on. Fortunately, we won't be in this level long, and I think this is the only level in the game that has these physics in them. Also, it's Mega Man 5 I was thinking of. I was about to say, like, most of the bosses in this first fortress aren't weak to anything. I just used Mega Buster against everything. But no, that's Mega Man 5 I'm thinking of. Excuse you, son. You were supposed to not charge at me a third time in a row. He broke the rules. He broke the rules. I'm telling Mom. Yes, these guys who jump out of the pits are a pain if you don't know they're there. But if you played the game a million times and you know they're there, that's fine. The question is, like, if they go all the way to the top of the screen, it's safe to jump over the hole. Otherwise, it's not. I gotta kill this guy. Because homie was standing right in my way. Let's get the Ballon back out. And when I was a kid, I used to think that was snow in the background, but it's not actually moving anywhere. So what I choose to believe it is instead, now that I'm an adult and I've played a lot of Metal Gear, is there's chaff in the air. I really don't like this part. I mean, I like the concept of the spike guys on the ladders, but in practice, dropping from one ladder to grab another one feels a little ROM hacky, and we haven't had anything that really kind of feels a little ROM hacky since the wall turret boss fight in Mega Man 2. So, yeah, it's still icy in there. So no, a lot of the endgame bosses are weak to the rings. So we get a lot of use out of the ring now. And you want to kill this, like, weird metal Mothra guy pretty quick, because he likes to make holes. And he likes to have his hitbox not cooperate. Nice. I mean, I love the holes that he makes. I love the graphical effect on that, how he plunges through the floor there. And if you don't know what weapon to use, he can chew through quite a lot of the floor before you get it figured out. Shoutouts to Montezuma Mike for sponsoring this video, and to everyone who makes this channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.